Parada Shunya Hoy Loho Krishna Nam Nariye Gudrumi Nityananda Mahajan Pateyati Nam Hata Jivara Karan Shradhavan Jan He Prabhu Ragnai Gai Mage Bika Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 10, entitled Battle Between the Demigods and Vritrasura. And today's texts will be 5 and 6. Text number 5. The demigods replied, O exalted Brahmana, pious persons like you, whose activities are praiseworthy, are very kind and affectionate to people in general. What can't such pious souls give for the benefit of others? They can give everything, including their bodies. Text number 6. Those who are too self-interested beg something from others, not knowing of others' pain. But if the beggar knew the difficulty of the giver, he would not ask for anything. Similarly, he who is able to give charity does not know the beggar's difficulty. For otherwise, he would not refuse to give the beggar anything he might want as charity. Nunam swarta paro loko Naveda parasankatam Yadi veda na yacheta Niti naha yadishvaraha Nunam swarta paro loko Naveda parasankatam Yadi veda na yacheta Neti naha yadishvaraha. Nunam swarta paro loko Naveda parasankatam Yadi veda na yacheta Niti naha yadishvara. Vaishnavis. Nunam swarta paro loko Naveda parasankatam Yadi veda na yacheta Niti naha yadishvara. Nunam. Certainly. Swarta para. Interested only in sense gratification in this life or the next. Lokaha. Materialistic people in general. Na. Not. Veda. No. Parasankatam. The pain of others. Yadi. If. Veda. No. Na. Not. Yacheta. Would ask. Na. No. Iti. Thus. Na. Aha. Naha. Does not say. Yet. Since. Ishvaraha. Able to give charity. Would you like to repeat? Those who are too self-interested beg something from others, not knowing of others' pain. But if the beggar knew the difficulty of the giver, he would not ask for anything. Similarly, he who is able to give charity does not know the beggar's difficulty. For otherwise, he would not refuse to give the beggar anything he might want in charity. He might want as charity. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This verse describes two people, one who gives charity and one who begs for it. A beggar should not ask charity from a person who is in difficulty. Similarly, one who is able to give charity should not deny a beggar. These are the moral instructions of the Shastra. Chanakya Pandit says, San nimitte varon tyago vinashe niyate sati. Everything within this material world will be destroyed, and therefore one should use everything for good purposes. If one is advanced in knowledge, he must always be prepared to sacrifice anything for a better cause. At the present moment, the entire world is in a dangerous position under the spell of a godless civilization. The Krishna consciousness movement needs many exalted, learned persons who will sacrifice their lives to revive God consciousness throughout the world. We therefore invite all men and women advanced in knowledge to join the Krishna consciousness movement and sacrifice their lives for the great cause of reviving the God consciousness of human society. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Vilidham Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katahmayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadvatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nunam Swartaparo Loko Naveda Parasankatam Yari Veda Nayacheta Neti Naha Yad Ishvaraha. Those who are too self-interested beg something from others, not knowing of others' pain. But if the beggar knew the difficulty of the giver, he would not ask for anything. Similarly, he who is able to give charity does not know the beggar's difficulty. For otherwise he would not refuse to give the beggar anything he might want as charity. It's a natural tendency, or a rephrase, it is the natural tendency of living entities to give. Therefore, we see that they're looking everywhere for places to give. Recently, when I was walking in the botanical gardens in Fort Bragg, California, Northern California, and I came to a little bridge over a stream, and they had put inventive kinds of signs in various parts of the botanical garden to instruct people what to do or not to do. And on the bridge, it said on a little plaque, "No coins necessary to operate stream." As everywhere in the world, when people see a well or a stream or a pond, they come and they throw coins in it. And ostensibly, this is to bring good luck. There's some sense that if I throw something in there, I give some part of my wealth, then something good will happen. It's very similar to the kind of instinct that we have, or the motion that we go through when we offer something into the sacred fire, or swaha, and then it feels good to throw something in. As Prabhupada mentions, we can't see God with our eyes, but this is a very obvious form of the Lord consuming things, in the form of this fire. And there's a kind of satisfaction that we get when we're giving over and again, swaha, throwing in. The difficulty for living entities in the material world is that they don't know where to give in order to get real benefit. Therefore, Krishna aligns us in the Bhagavad Gita by saying, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, that I'm the person to give to, because I can take it, digest it, and then give it back to you in the proper way. It's also confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam that by giving to Krishna, it's like pouring water on the root of the tree, and then all the branches become, and leaves are satisfied naturally. And our Krishna consciousness movement is also a movement of giving and taking, as mentioned in the Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami, dadati pratagrinati. So dadati means to give in charity. In fact, sampradaya, the idea of it is that this is the ultimate giving. This is what the word means, to give the ultimate gift. It's a bequeathment. We're passing on something, or not just something, but the most valuable thing that can be had by living entities, sampradaya. And it's complete, the complete giving. And everyone's lined up, beginning with Krishna, who we just recognized as the most magnificent. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho. He's an ocean of giving to even the most fallen. And so from his mood comes down through the disciplic succession this idea of giving to as many people as possible. Now, there's a sense in which one should be qualified to give. It's not so easy to give in general unless one cultivates the sense of not having anything, and that understanding that everything belongs to Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj mentions this in his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev, when he says that the giver to Lord Vishnu is not doing something for Lord Vishnu, he's doing something for himself. And he gives a comparison of one who decorates his or her face and then looks in the mirror and sees that the reflection is also decorated. He said, in a similar way, we are like reflections of Krishna. We're his parts and parcels. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that when we give to Krishna, then we feel more whole. We actually become ornamented by that giving, which is counterintuitive to the materialistic mind, which is fraught with the idea of survival. In the material world, The idea is Hastani sahastanam aparani chatushpadam balguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Srimad Bhagavatam says that one living entity is food for another. In order to survive, I have to take the bodies of others and eat them. I have to guard my wealth and so forth. So the natural instinct and the bodily conception of life is to try to protect everything that one has. We see in the pastime of Bali Maharaj this tendency of Shukracharya. Vamadev came to ask charity from Bali. And actually, he's described as the most beautiful of Krishna's incarnations, little brahmachari, effulgent, wearing a little deerskin. No one could resist him. And he came into the assembly of Maharaj Bali, who was performing a huge sacrifice. Actually, it's described later that when Bali Maharaj saw this little brahmachari, he was already surrendering himself within his heart. But he couldn't do so fully and demonstratively because he was surrounded by his friends who had a vested interest in the sacrifice and in him maintaining his position as the emperor of the worlds. But that's what his predisposition was towards Vaman. And then Vamanadev glorified Bali Maharaj. He mentioned his lineage. He talked about the glories of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaka. He said Hiranyaka was so great, he just carried a club and he challenged everybody in the whole universe. And everyone was afraid of him. But to speak of Hiranyakashipu, he said Vishnu was so afraid of him, he entered within his heart to get away from him, so he couldn't find him. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, actually, he entered within his heart out of compassion for this demon. And he went on speaking in sweet words, this beautiful little brahmachari, and then he said, I just want 3 paces of land. That's all I've come to ask for. And Bali Maharaj said, that's not a good thing to ask. He's being very gentle with this little brahmachari. He said, you know, I'm the emperor. You could ask anything. Please. Somebody must have misinformed you. I could give whatever you want. You ask more. And Vamadev resisted. He said, if I wanted more than what I need, then I wouldn't be satisfied if you gave me more. Bali had said, I'll give you an island. Why just 3 paces of land? And Vamanadev said, if I'm not satisfied with just the land that I can lie down on peacefully, then even if you gave me 3 islands or the whole world, I wouldn't be satisfied. And being charmed by Bali Maharaj and being inclined in his heart to give charity, he agreed, but then Shukracharya said, don't do it, you fool. You're a rascal. He said, you're going to ruin everything. Because this is Vishnu. You don't know this. But he's going to take everything away. And we have a deal here. We have something going on. Every living entity has a little deal going on in the material world. In fact, Prabhupada mentions in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, near the end of creation, Sankarsana's seeing how he's given so many opportunities for living entities to wind up their business. Everyone has some little business here in the material world they're running, a little chip in the game. And he gives an opportunity, so many great opportunities, to give up this meager little existence and join the bigger program in the spiritual world. But then he becomes a little annoyed that the living entities haven't taken it. And in his annoyance, from his eyebrows burst out the Rudras, 11 Rudras, and they begin their dance of destruction and burn down the universe. And Prabhupada mentions in his purport there that every living entity has an opportunity to wind up his or her business here in the material world. I always think of those little shops in India. I don't know how they stay open, but they are lined up sometimes along streets. It's just a little wooden shop, And all they have is little packets of pan. Is it pan or pan? Pan? Little packets of pan. Like, 3 or 4 rows, but they all have the same thing. And I'm thinking, how much does that stuff cost? The guy's lying back there, and you come up, you buy a little packet of pan, it's a couple rupees or something like that. And how come there's 10 shops in a row? How do they even survive with that? But that's the little business I have here in the material world. Everyone's got a little pawn shop and think this is important. Whether it's a tall building in New York City, everyone thinks this is a big deal. But from the perspective of eternity and our true interest of serving Krishna, it's just a little pawn shop. And it's got little packets of pawn hanging down. And even you think, I'm making billions of dollars, it's just insignificant. And so the living entity holds on to this paltry existence. But the Lord's so kind. It's like with Bali, he comes and says, here, I'll take it for you. And in this section of the Bhagavatam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that initially the Lord, who's so kind, his name is Hari, he takes away our miseries. Yasyahamana Grinnami Harisheta Dhanam Shanai. He comes, initially takes away the obstructing so-called wealth that we have. So we can have some realization that actually I survive without my wealth. I'm sustained by Krishna. And it seems in the beginning of the spiritual practice to a person who's addicted to maintaining him or herself that there's a big risk in taking to spiritual life because I'm wasting time not making money. And then as one advances in spiritual life, one sees the real risk is not having time for spiritual life. So in the beginning, one thinks that spiritual life is all risk and no gain. That's what the materialist thinks. That's why they don't stop if you're on the street corner in Manhattan, if you've ever experienced this. Austin? I saw him out there the other day. And people may or may not stop. There's like, I don't have time for this, to look into anything like that, like the Bhagavad Gita. It's a risk for me. I got things to do, and I got to make money. And I have to keep moving. They think it's all risk and no gain. But those who become spiritually advanced, they realize in increments that it's material life is all risk and no gain. And for this person who's spiritually advanced, Shraddha Shabde Bishwas Kahe Suridanaschay Krishne Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. This Shraddha, it means that the one's heart's invested in spiritual life, and that person is thinking that spiritual life is all gain and no risk. And then there's no impediment. So the devotees have to ask people in the spirit of Tadati Pratigranati. One of the ways in which Prabhupada describes this don't ask people is an implication there that it's a moral principle not to ask. But the devotees on behalf of Vamandev, in the same mood of Vamandev, they do ask people, hey, just give me three paces of land, that's all I ask. And is it, for instance, is it moral for the devotees to ask? Well, they have to be qualified. One has to be a qualified asker. It means that I don't have a vested interest. If I don't have a vested interest in asking you, that is, I'm not asking for myself, I'm asking on behalf of Krishna. Because to the degree that one has surrendered oneself to Krishna, to that degree one has potency in asking and also has the right to ask others. So when such a person asks for charity and then delivers it to Krishna, then there's great benefit that people receive when they give. They feel great relief in giving something to a qualified asker. as far as morality goes, I was in front of the Jagannath Mandir. Every year we go on our Puri Yatra in February, and we have a big Harinam Sankirtan outside of the Jagannath Puri temple. And at the same time, during our yatra, we call it a Sankirtan Yatra, because we do Sankirtan, Harinam everywhere, and we also distribute books and prasadam. And so in front of the Jagannath Mandir was a riotous performance with devotees jumping, dancing, singing, and then a book table. We have Mahaprabhu, Dameshwar Mahaprabhu Didi, who's also there on the book table along with all the books. People lined up, and then so many people stopped to watch these. We have Americans, Chinese, Japanese, and people are astounded to see this mixture of people dancing and chanting. And so then in the crowd, I was walking around distributing books, and I found the exact formula of how everyone in Orissa will take a book. Should I mention it? Yes. Okay. So what you do in Orissa for anybody to take a book is when you walk up, you take off your shoes first. You just flip your shoes off, and as soon as they see you flip your shoes off, they flip their shoes off. And then they understand something very serious and spiritual is going to take place. Then you hand over the book. And if you don't speak the language, then we hand them a language card that lets them know that we would like some charity given back. So there I was in front of the riotous Harinam going on, and amidst all this strum and drung, what happened was, as I was talking to a young Indian man who was giving a donation, a professional Jagannath Puri beggar came up and started begging. Now, of course, that's against the etiquette on the street. When somebody else is asking for charity, you don't come up and interfere. It's a well-known fact. But the beggars in Jagannath Puri, when they see an American, a big, huge American standing there asking money from little Bengalis and Orissans, they think, well, this doesn't count here. We'll just go up and ask. So this lady was asking me, and so I handed her a book. And then I told her, now you give. You give something. And she looked at me like, that's not how it works. I'm a beggar. I ask, everybody else gives me. And I said, no, you don't understand how it works. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for Krishna. This is our yatra. We're giving the money to the BBT. It goes into spreading Krishna consciousness, so I have every right to ask you. And now the people are intrigued because they're thinking, who's going to win this battle? There's a big, huge American standing there, shaved head and tilak, and people chanting Hare Krishna, and he's distributing books about Krishna, and here's a genuine Jagannath Puri beggar who has every right in her profession to ask everybody for donations. So who wins the fight? So she said, no, no, no. I said, yes, yes, yes. And as I was saying yes, 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 I felt the potency, because I knew I don't have any vested interest. I don't need anything from you. But I'm asking you on behalf of Lord Vamandev, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, and all the other spiritual authorities. And she could feel it. And after several backs and forths, a big smile broke out on her face. A smile of understanding. Yeah, I understand. And she pulled out her little pouch, and she handed over a huge pile of change. And by this time, there was a crowd of people around watching, and they went, yay! And it wasn't that I was rejoicing in that I had won this fight. It wasn't a fight of ego. But I was very certain that I was asking on behalf of Krishna. And she also felt it, did the beggar, and so did the people. They saw this is properly aligned. And so when we go out into the world, because people don't know where to give, they just throw their money wherever they can. They're thinking, here's a little place, I'll throw it here. They're not sure. They need information about the Yajna Purush, where to put their money. And the devotees have to be representatives of that Yajna Purush. In fact, when I asked for donations, and yesterday this happened several times because yesterday was a busy day. I had 5 Uber rides yesterday. And in the process, 4 Uber rides, right? And distributed 5 books. And 4 Uber. Everybody got a book. And 2 of them gave donations. The other 2 I didn't ask, and one of them got 2 books. So when I had presented the books to these people, the first 2 cab rides, interestingly, were people from Brazil. And they were spiritually inclined. So I handed over a book. And I let them know right away, so it wasn't a surprise at the end. I said, here's a spiritual book for you. And I said, we don't sell it. We ask for donations. We don't need the money. The only reason we ask is when you give something in return for spiritual knowledge. It's a penance. I said these words, it's a penance. And by doing this penance, it connects you to the teachers who have passed it down over many generations, and that allows you to enter deeply within the knowledge. And they're, yes, I understand. And very happy to give on those circumstances. So when we ourselves are properly aligned in our purpose of asking on behalf of Krishna, and we explain it clearly with no obfuscation at all, then people are extremely inclined to give. In fact, using those very words in presenting books here, there, and everywhere around the world, I think I could count on one hand, maybe on half a hand, the number of people who haven't given in the process of me handing over something with no feeling that I need anything in return, and then asking on behalf of the previous teachers, and being very certain in myself that I'm handing over. Didn't I give you the Lakshmi last night? I handed over my $7 to put in the... And that's important. It has to be everything, all the energy taken from the people on behalf of Krishna has to be properly put into the stream that goes into the Yajna Purush, to his lotus feet. And then this spirit of dadati pratigranati, that you're giving dadati, you're giving charity like anything. We have to give everywhere. In fact, we're talking, Maharaj and I, when we were walking around the city, who knows where, we had no idea where we were going, but we were walking and talking, and we were remembering about giving out luglus back in the 1970s. They came down like rain in New York City, everywhere. The luglus were going out, every street corner, everyone. And when people saw Hare Krishna, or saw Hare Krishna, they think it means getting charity from Hare Krishna. That they give, and they give, and they give, everywhere they give. In fact, one day I was walking along, 1976, and a police car pulled over. I said, hey, Krishna, come here. I walked over, and I was like, yes? And they said, you got any of that candy stuff? I said, yeah, sure, here you go. And they go, thanks. And they took off. And so we should be known as givers. We should have that reputation that these are the givers. They give everywhere. And we should also be so aligned properly that the taking is something that is people understand from our demeanor and from the way we live our lives, that this is a place to give. And this helps society to have the givers who also will take on behalf of Krishna, because they're so cleanly in line with the Lord and his purposes. So those are a few ideas, and we have 7 minutes left, so we'll take some reflections. Any thoughts that came up in the process of reading this verse or hearing the monologue? Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for this. You're speaking a lot about being qualified to be a giver. And I was wondering, being a part of like a compassion movement like ISKCON, many of us may not have our own compassion. But we feel because we're a part of compassion movement and we're doing compassion acts, then that kind of makes up for our own lack of compassion. So similarly, when we're giving on behalf of Krishna, at least theoretically, we may not be qualified in terms of consciousness per se, but we're qualified because we're connected to a movement that is qualified, we're connected to persons who are qualified. But I often wonder how that might impact the interactions that we have with others when we're not actually qualified in consciousness. And so we may present ourselves as givers of charity from the Yajna Purusha, but we communicate to people that we're egotistical, we're self-righteous, because there's something that's not there in consciousness. So I was kind of wondering if you could speak to this idea, or if I'm even correct, or...
You're very correct, and it's such an astute question. My reply is that Sankirtan is high sadhana. Going out on behalf of the Lord, even in a neophyte condition, even in unrefined consciousness, is a high sadhana. And why? Because the environment of the world is self-correcting. That is, that if one carries ego in doing one's duty for the Yajna Purusha, then the environment will correct you. As Hrinay Maharaj likes to say, the universe is cosmic sensitivity training. And this is directly realized by going out into the world and presenting those who are condescending, who carry false ego with them and don't try to purify their consciousness by chanting intense japa each day and doing other acts of direct bhakti. They don't have jnana and vairagya because of that. They may cause some friction, but that friction comes back to them, and if they're sincere, then that becomes self-correcting. For instance, I remember once that I became angry at somebody in the St. Louis airport. And for the next hour, as I was walking around trying to present books, people looked at me and they go, nuh-uh. I was thinking, how did you know? They just look at me and go, you're polluted. I don't want to, stay away. And I realized that living entities, they're called sentient because they're sensitive. They know these things. Even animals, they say the animals sense fear. And living entities, they look and they sense detachment. They sense purity. And so it's like one of those machines, they call it a biofeedback. What's it called? They hook up all these things and you're able to like bring your heart rate down. You can practice. And so when you're on Sankirtan and you're going out on behalf of Krishna, or even going out and speaking in universities or wherever you are, whatever kind of ego you carry, you find that you have to refine it so that it doesn't interfere with your transmission. And that's why it's important to go out and teach Krishna consciousness, because there's a self-correcting mechanism for the sincere in the world when they go out and they teach, and others will mercifully give their feedback. They'll look at you. Even so-called materialistic people look at you and go, you're a rascal. I can see it, and they go, if you're sincere, you go, you're right, I'm a rascal. Thank you for correcting me. And, you know, we take this instruction from our environment. I wanted to mention one other thing about giving, and that is that preemptive giving is one of the great desires of the devotees, to develop the capacity to give to Krishna. And preemptive giving, I say, because ultimately everything's taken from us. And therefore it's kind of a game that will you give it away first, or will you have it taken from you? Now here's the rules of the game. If it is taken from you, you don't get any credit at all. But if you, through the spiritual practice, develop the capacity to give more and more away of what you have to Krishna, then you get all credit. Therefore, Krishna, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, recommends such things. Yat karoshi rasnashi yat johosi dadasi yat tapasasi konteya tat kurishva manarpanam. Just practice giving away what you have. So, one day I was at Radhakund. I had just gotten to the Kartik. I go to Kartik every year, Krishna willing, to spend at Govardhan Hill. It's been 19 years in a row. And I was at the Radhakund to take my bath when I first got there. I took my clothes off, put my gumsha on, put all my stuff on the bank. I went in, I said my Gayatri mantra very peacefully. I turned around and all my stuff was gone. That included my clothes, my everything. There was some Lakshmi there, not a whole lot, but enough so I noticed. My notebook was the most important thing. I had a lot of things in there. My pen, somebody had given me a pen, all gone. I asked the monkeys, did you take it? And they said, we didn't do it. And when something's gone in India, it's gone for good. So, what did I do? I walked back to the ashram, which was about an hour and a half in a gumsha. And my body language said, yeah, I'm a sadhu, this is what I do. But when I got back to the ashram, I had a stark realization. Normally when I stay at the ashram, I give a donation to the Mahant, the Asit Krishna Prabhu, before I leave. And when I got back to the ashram, my first day, I went to my locker, I took out my donation, and I walked up to him before anything else. Even in my gumsha, I went up and I said, here's my donation. Why did I do that? Preemptive giving, because I had this very clear realization that anything could be taken from me at any second. And therefore, better if I give it away before it's taken from me. So devotees develop this understanding that the more I can give, while I still have the choice to give, the more I can develop my capacity to give, the more I can develop my love for Krishna by giving to him and realizing that he's the one sustaining me, nothing belonged to me anyway. And the longer I wait, the more things will be taken from me and I don't get any credit whatsoever. Yes?
Just one comment. He says there is an absolute benefit in contributing, even unknowingly, to a Sankirtan devotee, in purifying oneself and in contributing to the Sankirtan Yajna, which is purifying the worldwide atmosphere.
This is absolutely true. There's proof throughout the Shastra, from Guru Sadhu Shastra, that even persons who give unknowingly get benefit. At the same time, there's also a thoughtfulness principle, and that is that if we refine ourselves and the way that we ask and the way that we present ourselves, when they give, they get even more credit because their hearts are open. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did such things by changing his dress so he would be more appealing to the people in general. Even when he went to see Prakashananda Saraswati, he sat in a lowly place to present himself in a very humble way. And in that way, Prabhupada says, people are already inimical, and therefore don't make them more inimical. Present yourself in such a way that their hearts will open and they'll want to give more. So on one side, everybody gets benefit by giving Krishna consciousness, but on the other side, the more we refine ourselves and humbly ask people and become instruments of Krishna, then the more benefit they get. Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. Go Premanande Haribol. Vancha Kalpadri. Charana Padma Kevalabha Kati Sadma Bando Mui Savadana Mate Bando Mui Savadana Mate Jahar prashade bhai bhavatu riyaja Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Shitete ko riya aikya Anakori ho mani asha Anakori ho mani asha Sri Guru Charane Ratiye Sheu Tamagati Sri Guru Charane Ratiye Sheu Tamagati Je prashade pure sarva asha Je prashade pure sarva asha Chakudan dilo je janme janme prabhu she Chakudan dilo je janme janme prabhu she Dibya jamre prokashito Dibya jamre prokashito Prema bhakti jaha hote abhija vinasa jate Prema bhakti राजा होते अभिजा विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहर चरित वेदे गाय जहर चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकना लोकेरा जीवाना लोकना लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा पर कोरा दोया देह मोरे पादा छाया प्रभु कोड़ा दोया देहा मोरे पद छाया एबे जाश्रु से तुलुवाना एबे जाश्रु से तुलुवाना हा हा प्रभु कोड़ा दोया देहा मोरे पादा छाया जय प्रभु परा प्रभु परा प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभु परा प्रभु परा प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा प्रभु परा प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने श्रीमते नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्यरिषतारिणे
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Srimadi Sudan Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Thatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandan Jaha Vignanash Abhishta Puran Echai Gosai Jar Mutar Das Tansabara Pararenu Mora Panchagras Tandara Charana Sevi Bhakta Saribas Janame Janam Me Hoye Abhilash Echai Gosai Jade Braje Kolabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash Very good. Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Bhajaniyaman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyash Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamo Das Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narottama Das. 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama